Okay, so number two, minus 5.6. Okay, now this has a little detail in it that we haven't really run across much. This has a negative in the front. So I'm going to divide both sides by -1. Okay, any questions so far? So I subtracted 5.6, then I divided by -1 to get rid of the negative in front. Now I'm going to, guys, natural log both sides and bring the exponent in front. So 6a natural log of e equals natural log of 43.6. So exponent came in the front and natural log both sides. Natural log and e cancel. Okay, natural log of 43.6 divided by 6. Me too. Any questions about number two? Everybody good with the dividing by -1 to get rid of the negative in front? Okay, I think that was the only interesting thing about that one. And number four, there's nothing interesting about this problem. So you see that it's plus, so we condense with multiplication. Then we say guidance circle or cross out. Anyone? Guidance circle or cross out? Oh, I got going too fast and then now it's not. I got 3.5. Okay, now just to be completely clear, you guys should have warm-ups 1 through 4 done. And you should also have number 7 done and number 11 from yesterday's video. Okay, so that's where we're at. Let me just say it again because there are people that are not listening, I can tell. You should have warm-ups 1 through 4 done. You should have number 11 and number 7 done. They were on yesterday's video. They were not named the same ones, but they're the same ones. Okay. Now, let's do this. Are you okay? Do you need the Heimlich? Question about my font?
No.
I see. I'm afraid of what you're gonna say right now.
Do you know about the Bitcoin for project?
Yes, I'm not a part of it, so don't ask me.
You're not?
Nope.
Are you 100% sure?
Oh, yeah.
I had something about degrees.
Okay, we're passing what we should say out loud in front of people now. Whew. Okay. All right, so we need to move quickly because I have to do all of this, and then I want to spend the rest of the period answering as many questions as humanly possible. So that's my goal. So I'm gonna do this, which is 38 to 40. It's not really separated into problem numbers. It's just one giant thing. I'm going to go over simplifying, excluded values, multiplying, dividing, adding, and subtracting. And then I'm going to just take 7,000 questions, like whatever questions you have from the last few days. I also have the key from Friday's worksheet over here, and I plan on putting that up and going over that. So that's my goal. Okay, so this first one, you might see the word reduce, you might see simplify. Either way, this one is simplifiable. It's great because the 5x minus 2's match and they make a 1. So simplifying, canceling those two out because they match, one on the top, one on the bottom, and it makes a 1. Want to be really careful. We're not making that a 0, we're making that a 1. And x plus 1 is left on the top. I'm going to go, because this is notes, I'm going to go all the way through to remembering that that's a 1 on the bottom. Final answer, x plus 1. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about excluded values for this problem. So the answer here is this. And then I say 5x minus 2 cannot equal 0. Plus 2. 5x cannot equal 2. X cannot equal 2 bits. Okay, now we're going to define what excluded values are. Excluded values are any value of a variable that makes the denominator 0 in the original problem. Okay, so we're going to do one more simplifying example. Do you guys see a giant 1 in this problem? Yes, 2x minus 5 is a giant 1. And my answer to the problem is x plus 3 over x minus 3. And now I'm going to find the excluded values. So I take these factors in the bottom and say x minus 3 cannot equal 0. 2x minus 5 cannot equal 0. X cannot equal 3. X cannot equal 5 halves. And I go back up to the answer and I say x cannot equal 3. X cannot equal 5 halves. Okay, are there any questions about simplifying? You want to make sure that you're only simplifying when there's multiplication involved. You can't just cross out x squared. It has to be factors. And that you're only setting the bottom things not equal to 0 because you can't divide by 0. You can divide 0 by stuff, but you can't divide by 0. Any questions about that? Good so far? Okay, now we're going to move to multiplying and dividing. Yes. Well, now it's going to be later because you asked. Okay, multiplication. Okay, so there are my very exciting directions for multiplication. Multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and simplify. I know, crazy. Okay, I'm going to do this problem math 1 style because it's notes. There are probably a lot of people in here who don't need to do it math one style, but I am going to do it math one style because I already know that what happens when I get to the worksheet and people are going to tell me they don't know how to do number 1 and number 7 and number 8, which are math one problems. And so I'm going to do this one because it's a math one problem. Okay, anyway, so multiply across the top. So 3 times 10 is 30. And then how many B's do I have on the top total? 3. And how many A's do I have on the top total? 3. Okay, now on the bottom, I have 9 times 4, which is 36. 4 B's and 1 A. Okay, so that is called expanded form. We did it quite a bit in math 1. Okay, and if you guys know how to subtract, you could just subtract on this problem, but since I already know the question is coming of how did I get it, I just wrote it out. And the first thing I'm going to do is reduce 30 over 36. 6 goes into both of those, so this is going to become 5, and this is going to become 6. Does that make sense? I divided them both by 6. Okay, then I'm going to find giant ones. So here's a 1, here's a 1, here's a 1, and here's a 1. Okay, and I have 5a squared left on the top and 6b on the bottom. Okay, now excluded values. Look back at the original problem. Now looking back at the original problem, what would make the bottom 0 here? What value for b would make the bottom 0? 0. Okay, so b cannot equal 0. And we already know b cannot equal 0 because we just wrote it. What about a? Correct. Okay, now division. Yeah.
Zero, because then we think there's 2 A's and 2 B's. We only do the bottom, right?
Yep. Okay, now I picked this one on purpose. It's got 3 different types of factoring in it that are required. So the good factoring review. And I'm going to keep change flip it first. So x squared minus 1 over x times 2x squared plus x over x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, now this, I'm going to come back with a different color really quick. Because the thing is, I'm not going to show everything. This is a difference of squares problem. This is a GCF. And this is a diamond and box. Okay, how can I tell just by looking at that, which is what we're factoring? Well, difference of squares is really good because the name is what it is. It's a difference of squares. Now, it has to be a binomial, and it has to have a perfect square and a perfect square and be a difference. Okay, the other one is a binomial. So we don't diamond box those. So it's just GCF. And then the last one is a trinomial, so you can tell it's box and diamond. Sometimes you have to GCF those first, though. You have to check. This one is not. Okay. So how do we factor difference of squares? We make two parentheses. Split the x squared into x and x. Split the 1 into 1 and 1. And then you have 1 plus and 1 minus because it's a difference. And what is the GCF of this? Greatest common factor. X, thank you. And I diamond and box that in my head. If you want to diamond and box it over here, feel free. I don't need to show my work. Okay, now let's simplify. So what do I have that is ones? This and this, those are 1. That makes a 1. And these two? Is that it? Uh-huh.
Out of x equals 2x plus 1, then consider the x plus 1, x plus 1. No, there you go. Exactly.
No, because this would be 1/2 if you did that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, but you know how like, when you do like I don't know what, I don't really know what the difference is, but like, you like, just take it through, oh, wait, yeah, right.
This would be a half, I'm saying, if you did that. Okay, now I'm going to come back with the highlighter. I want to be really careful with the excluded values. So I'm going to go back to the original problem. There are the denominators before the keep change flip. There are the denominators after the keep change flip. I have to take into account all of those. And so looking at this one first, x cannot be 0. Okay, and if you're not sure about this one, I like to do these after I factor. So I'm gonna say, but let's just go, just so we can see our work, 2x squared plus x cannot equal 0. Okay, so I already got the x cannot equal 0 from the first one. Okay, and then so that's this one and this one. And then this one is still 0. And then this one, I ended up factoring into this, right? So what can x not be? 1. It's only a half away. Okay, flip your page over if you're doing the same size stuff as me. We have 2 more problems for this, and then I'll start taking questions. Pregunta, por favor. It's up to you. Okay, first step, multiply by giant ones to get a common denominator. Multiply by giant ones to get a common denominator. In this problem, the common denominator is 6 times v plus 3. Remember, when you're multiplying or adding fractions, you usually multiply by the bottoms. That's kind of what we're doing here. So I just took the 2 things on the bottom and multiplied them together to get the common denominator. Okay, now what I do is I think about, okay, if this is the common denominator, then what's missing on this side? This is the common denominator. This has a 6. What's missing? B plus 3. And what's missing on this side? 6. If you have 2 of these, will it work to multiply each side by the other guy's denominator? Yep. Sometimes it's not the least common denominator and you just have to reduce at the end, but it always works. I call it sort of like butterfly type thing, like this side, this side. Okay. Step 2. Just like regular fractions, you add across the top and the bottom stays the same. Okay, so equals. So now I've got the top added together and the common denominator. Any questions about how I got from here to here? Okay, now I'm gonna distribute, simplify stuff. Next step is to simplify if possible. Okay, do you see anything that we can do to simplify this problem? Yeah, GCF of 3. Okay, now the top is the top diamond boxable. And we're gonna put it over here. We're just gonna give it a go because it's notes. Does this work? Anything multiply to be +5 and add to be -4? No. Multiply to be -4 and add to be 5? Yeah. Okay, however, we still need to simplify the coefficients. So this is 1, this is 2. Okay, last question for this problem. What can b not equal? Okay, so here's the original problem. What can v not equal? -3, thank you. V plus 3 cannot equal 0. -3 minus 3.
Oh my God.
V cannot equal -3. Okay, last problem. We're not gonna write steps out for this because the steps are really the same as addition. You just have to be a little bit more mindful with the minus sign, but there's nothing different from addition. Last problem. Okay. So when you find a common denominator, when you want to find a common denominator, you need to factor first. So this is already, there, you can't factor this guy. This guy, what does this factor into? Anyone else? Yeah. Okay. So the common denominator in this problem is x plus 4, x minus 4. Okay, now if you wanted to, you don't even need to think about this. You could multiply this side by this and multiply this side by this, but I think that would make it much harder than if you just see, oh, they already have an x plus 4 in common. So this side just needs the x minus 4 piece. And now they match. Okay, let me say that again. This side has both the x plus 4 and x minus 4. This side only had x plus 4, so it just needs the x minus 4 piece, and now they match. Okay. Now I'm going to write this very carefully. Okay, this is the part where you're going to mess this up if you're not careful. Subtraction means everything. Means you're subtracting everything. Subtraction of all this stuff, which means that you need to remember to put parentheses around whatever you're subtracting. And whatever you can do with colors or stars or highlighting or arrows or fireworks or whatever you need to do right there to make sure that you remember that. Okay, now I have the common denominator. Distribute. I distributed both sides. Mhm.
You can line like terms.
I'm going to in a second. Do you mean you distribute first? Okay. Okay, so I combine like terms. Now what, Connor? Yeah,
Four, right,
that.
plus two, right, plus four, that's it. Good.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't solve that plus four.
Mm-hmm. And then
I don't know what to do.
what's left?
Oh, I cannot tell you. This is for the- Okay.
Okay, and then what can X not equal going back to the original problem? And there's no 8 in this problem.
Bottom, right?
Yay! Uh, anyway, okay, can you guys find that quiz review worksheet? Quiz review.
Oh, no, I didn't. No, early. Actually, mine. Stop it.
What?
Bathroom.
Sure.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay. What questions can I answer for you from the quiz review? I'm not going to do any one problem in its entirety, but I could definitely get you unstuck. Take a look through your quiz review, please. You have a quiz tomorrow. Okay. I'm just gonna pretend that you're all being sarcastic with your negativity.
Yeah.
If you can't do these, these are we've weeks now, weeks. The backside, not so much. Take a look through. There's 12 problems. 11, I lied. What can I do for you? Nothing? Okay. It's fine. Okay, now could you guys go back to the worksheet from Friday? I'll take questions first and then I'll show you the answer key. Okay, let's see if questions are generated from the answer key. Check the first 6, please. The highlighted things here are the answers and these are the excluded values. Check 1 through 6, please. Now is not the time to furiously write the answers down. Okay, here are problems 7 through 12. Five. I love that answer so much. 5. It's 5. The answer's 5. Me like it. Answer's 5. Is it 5? It's 5. X plus 4 over X, and then -5 halves, 0, and 4. Do you need help with that one? Oh, that's okay. Anything else you want to say from 7 through 12? Okay. Flip to the back. Okay, start with these two. What's on? Yes, 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 my dear. Oh, it's because it's before and after the keep change flip. So you have 7x cubed y to the negative 4 over 4 times 12y cubed over 35x. Okay, and these two things are in the denominator in the original problem, and these two things are in the denominator after the keep change flip. So for this one, y can't be 0, and for this one, x can't be 0. Excluded values are the original problem and after the keep change flip. You have to look at both. Excellent question. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong over there? What's wrong? Okay. Okay, moving on. Okay, here's the last four. Look, this one's almost our area code. Did they miss a comma in there? Is this a typo? The whole worksheet's ruined. Well, they would give me, I know their face by now. They give me this face. They do this thing where they lock eyes, like, and then they're like, is it wrong? Is it wrong? Is it wrong? And then they do this thing where they look over and try to be really nicely tell me that it's wrong. They didn't say anything, so I'm assuming I'm good. Okay. So can you guys look at the stamp sheet side? So this is what should be done right now. You should have the 2 through 17, which is the resource page we did together. I think I stamped almost everybody for that.
Yeah.
There should be a CPM homework, which was problems from 19 through 23. Okay, then the worksheet from Friday, that's this. Then 26 through 29, which was yesterday's video and the quiz review, and then 38 to 40. Those things should be done. Not that I'm gonna be able to stamp them, I'm just saying those should, just to make sure we're gonna do it. I can stamp, but I do have a really good joke for you today that I don't want to skip. It's one of my, okay, I don't want anyone to feel called out by this joke because my child sent it to me when he was a senior. And it can be a little it's a little bit of a sharp cheddar joke, let's just say. Okay. So that's what we did today. Operations with rational expressions, notes. And there's my joke.
Wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's good.
It's funny because my people are car people and my husband hates BMWs because he says that they're just a total waste of money and that they're always dying. And so it's like a funny BMW joke. Connor, you should look at my joke. I think you like it. No, I specifically said it wasn't before you came in. Actually, my kid sent it to me in 2021, right before he graduated. He sent me that.
That's like a E right there. Mine is probably total. Like mine was wrong.
You think that's a C?
Yeah. No, no, mine would probably be like